right, everybody. Of course, I'm having video issues, but I'd like to welcome you to one of my very first lives. I think this is the second one I've ever done. Put you up here for now. My name is Robin Brown, and I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. And I thought I would get ready for Easter a little early and start with making a special little box for mini Easter eggs, the chocolate ones. And I got this idea from Sam Hammond-Donald of poodles.uk.com. And it was such a cute little box that I couldn't pass it up. And I'm going to try to make that for you. And as I'm trying to get my stuff in order here, it's not cooperating too well, but we'll give it a go. And we'll see what I can see here. First off, all you need to make this, and I will finish one completely here so that you'll be able to see it. But there is a photo in the on the site. You pick any kind of DSP that you like that looks Eastery. I have several choices here. The pieces are 3.5 by 8 inches. 3.5 by 8. Alrighty, and I'm going to take this one here, and we are going to score that along the long side at 1/2, 1 1/4, 6 3/4, and 7 1/2. Then we're going to rotate the paper the long way. Rotate the paper the long way the other way. It doesn't really matter which way you do it. 3/4, 1 1/2 inches, 2 1/4 inches, and 3 inches. Alrighty. So that will give us our base piece. And then we're going to take our bone folder and we're going to crease all these pieces. On the folds, just like so. Then we're also going to fold them back on the other creases that go the other way, one forward and one backward. Okay, that's all the creases we have. Then I'm going to take either the classic label punch, which is this one, or you can also use the word window punch. But you're going to look at your piece of paper and find where that 1/2 inch measurement is. That's the skinniest one. We're going to punch not on the 1/2 inch piece, not on the first 3/4 piece, but on that second 3/4 piece, which is almost as far in as the punch will reach. But we're going to punch a little window, either the word window or this punch, or you could punch an oval, anything that will fit in that space. You could also use dies. You don't have to use a punch. But I'm going to use this punch because it's quick and easy. And I'm going to center that between, that in here, between these two folds and the centered top and bottom this way on that section, 3/4 inch section that's in the middle. And then we're just going to punch that out. Okay? And there you are. You have your little window in the piece. So now we're going to open this back up. And I encourage you to use Tombow glue for this. They will hold together better, especially if you're going to put the eggs in them quickly. You fold over that 1/2 inch flap, which is the narrowest one, and apply some liquid glue. You could use tear and tape or the high-powered snail or Stampin'. It's not called snail anymore. Adhesive, Stampin' adhesive that we have, and basically you make a square tube. All right, now down on this end where we first made that first score line, we're going to flatten this tube back out, and we're going to take that first score line and fold it back and forth just to make sure that it folds well. The same thing with the other one, back and forth, and then open it back up and do the same thing on the other end. Well, you have to close it back up, but and then fold it in the other direction and fold this in both directions, and that gives a nice ease of movement to the piece. Now you're going to take your fingers and tuck in here at that first fold and crimp down like you would on the top of a old-fashioned milk carton. Okay, so that's the look you're going to get here, and this is the place where we're going to put a staple. I have a real old-fashioned stapler here. It's a top stapler. Uses very small staples. The Stampin' Up! Years ago made a mini stapler that, if you still have one of those, that would be perfect to use. We're just going to staple this right in the center of that 1/2 inch tab, just like so. All right. Then the next is the fun part. We're going to get out our Easter eggs. Now these come in various sizes depending on which brand you buy. I bought some Russell Stover eggs, and they were quite large. And the Palmer brand eggs are much narrower, but they are a good choice. But the taste-wise, the best ones I found were the Hershey's. So I picked Hershey's. Now they do have advertising on their little label, but that's okay. Most of the color shows up, and their colors are not as bright as some of the others. We have pink and blue and green in there. That's it. Some of the others have gold, a beautiful dark green, a beautiful dark pink, but this is what we're going with. So 6 of these will fit in here nicely, and you just put them in. Now the Russell Stover ones, I would have to push in here in order to make them work. And you do want to make sure that your egg that you're putting in there is totally wrapped. In this day of COVID, etc., we want to make sure. That's 4, 5, 6 will fit in there nicely, and I bet because these eggs are smaller, no, I'm going to stop there, otherwise they'll get squished. So your choice whether you add another one in there or not. Okay, and then of course we're going to, yeah, I am going to add one in there because I think that's going, so these hold 7 nicely. All right, and that makes this what I'm going to call a milk carton top crease on the places where it's supposed to easily. So then we're going to take another staple, and you want to hold this so that your pieces are together and even, and staple that right in the middle of the tab. And now your candy pieces are trapped in their little tube. And then I took the stamp set called Welcome Easter, and I believe it's retired now, but it was from last year, and I just love these little features here. So I'm going to stamp one of each and then decide which one I'm going to use. All right, so we're going to put this aside just for a second. We're going to get out some Memento Tuxedo Black ink, and let's stamp one of each of these little guys. This is the little lamb. We're going to check and make sure we're inky all around. I am. And stamp. Perfect. And that goes aside for cleaning. And how about a chick? Chick, chick, chick. That's good. Set that aside, and then the last one is our bunny. Okay, so let's put him down here. All right, so now we have our 3 images, and we can put our ink away, and we're going to get out some Stampin' Blends. So for the lamb, I'm only going to color his bow and his feet and his ears. And that is Seaside Spray. That is not what I was looking for over here in my collections. I was looking for Smoky Slate. That's basic black. You could use black. Smoky Slate, where are you? No, that's blue. Okay. So I must have had my Smoky Slate out for another project. So we are just going to use some Smoky Slate, which I found. When you quit looking, that's when you find it. So we're just going to color his little ears in with Smoky Slate. Okay, and his feet. I guess technically hooves there on a sheep. Sheep have a little split hoof. And then I'm going to color his little necktie there with some balmy blue. And so that's what we're going to do here. I'm also going to color his little face with some Smoky Slate. And since you stamped in a Memento, you don't have to worry about this ink smearing when you get up close to it. And you can color right over the top of the eyes and it won't make them smear. So that's kind of cute. All right, so let's get them. And then it's going to have a little pink nose. So I'm going to get out some, let me see, what shall we use here? How about, no, Flurry Flamingo is a little too bright. I think we'll use some Blushing Bride. Pink Pirouette, how about that? That's an old one, but it's pink. So we'll use that right in here for its little nose. Alrighty. Then the next one we're going to do is the Chicky. I'm going to do that in Daffodil Delight. And let's see, everything will get colored here in yellow, except the beak, the feet, and the, I believe you call that a coxcomb up there on the top, but don't hold me to it, I'm not sure. And I may have smeared this ink with my hand, may not have been totally dry when I did it, so we're going to make sure we don't do that again. Okay. Missed a little bit of yellow there. You could also use your Mango Melody, etc. I'm going to use Pumpkin Pie for his claws or talons or chicken feet. And a beak. And the coxcomb up here. Okay. So that takes care of our chick. The last one I'm going to do, which I also put my hand in, I don't think the ink is drying too well on this paper. I have to check into that. Is our rabbit. And the rabbit is going to be done in dark crumb cake for his body here. And I'm going to turn this around because my tip on my lens end is not the best. I think I need to purchase a new set of crumb cake markers. They do not last forever, and if you've done a lot of coloring with them, they do run out. So now I'm going to do the ears. And all the facial features except the teeth and the nose. The teeth are going to remain white. And I think this little thing, we're going to call this the breastplate, or kind of looks like a beard on him. I'm going to do that in light crumb cake. Right here. And you can see how this one is colors much easier. Doesn't look like a whole lot of difference there because my ink needs rejuvenating. All right, and again, we're going to put a little pink on his feet. How about a little of the pink pirouette? You could also use petal pink. This is pink pirouette. Okay. The bottoms of his feet and his little nose. Okay, so that takes care of our our little figures that we're going to use. Now to decide which one of these I want to use on this particular feature. So this is the one that didn't get smeared by my arm laying across the top of it. And we're just going to fussy cut this out. Now if you have one of those fancy electric cutting machines, like a Brother Scan and Cut or something like that, you can certainly go around these and cut these out perfectly because they have a solid outside line to cut around. And if you needed to make a bunch of them, that would be just perfect for this. I happen to have one and I love it, but there's also a set of dies for this that you can cut these out with, I believe. I didn't check on the dies, but I believe there was. And if not, it's not that hard to fussy cut them out. And just a little bit more here. Now we have to think about a sentiment. And I like to put a little label on here. You could put a circle punch with a label. You could leave it plain. You could stamp Happy Easter right on this little guy, on the lamb. You could do that. Or you could take a piece, remember that piece that you punched out of the hole here. If you used a light color, then you could stamp on on that label itself. This is a piece that I used on one of my previous labels, and I'm going to take the Happy Easter from the retired stamp set called You're Inspiring, right here, because it fits really nicely onto this particular label. And I am going to stamp it right on this label. And I am going to stamp it fairly close to the left, which is going to be a little bit off center. And I'll show you why. Well, that's top to bottom is not so on center on that one. Let's try again. What do we do this time? I'm going to pull it down here so I can see what I'm doing. And we'll try it a little lower. There we go. That one's better. So we're going to get rid of the ink, which doesn't seem to be drying down here in my shop today. And we're going to take that classic label punch and punch this out. Now this little piece is the 1/2 inch strip that's left when you cut your 8 inch by 3.5 inch pieces out of a 12 inch piece. I mean, yes, a 12 by 12 piece of paper, DSP. There's always a strip, a 1/2 inch left over. So we're going to punch that out. Now you'll see that I've aligned the end of the punch close to the happy. And the reason I'm doing this is because this punch piece is a little wider than I like for that image. So then I'm going to take this piece and put it back in here. Just the end piece. See if I can feed it in there. There we go. And we're going to just line that up carefully and punch the end of that off. And you'll see it looks just like the label, only much shorter. And it will fit very nicely across the lamb, just like that. Okay. And here's the one I previously did. Okay, so that's already glued down for me. And then to finish this off, all I did was put some of this. If you happen to have gotten this off center, put your label on the tallest side. I think I'm pretty much in the center. And I just put some liquid glue down the center of my label. And I'm turning it over and putting it on there like that and letting it set. And there we go. Voila, it's finished. And you can make a whole box full of these very inexpensively. Although chocolate has increased in price lately. So due to the expense of the chocolate, I normally sell these for about $3 a piece. And they sell very well and they're yummy. So I thank you for being here with me this afternoon. It's just afternoon. It didn't take too long to do that. It took about 32 minutes for this video to make its way onto YouTube. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, my name is Robin Brown, and I'm an independent demonstrator for Stampin' Up! And I'd love to be your demonstrator if you don't have one. And you can find me at my store at www.robinbrown.stampinup.net. I also have a YouTube channel, and you just search for Robin's Nest Creations, Robin Brown, Independent Demonstrator for Stampin' Up! And my videos will come up with all my tutorials and demonstrations from all the card classes that I've done so far. And I welcome you to come and join the channel, to join any of my groups, to like this page, and to give me an email or a message if you're interested in joining my Stampin' Up! Team. So other than that, I will bid you adieu. Have a very nice day. Next time we meet, I will perhaps come up with another little easy Easter item that we can make out of some more candy and chocolate. So have a good day. Talk to you later. Thank you very much for joining me.